This week in Handyman Corner, we're going to show you what you can do with an old stove. And I'm not referring to any member of your family here. Maybe you've got one of these out in the garage or in the bomb shelter, or maybe you were lucky enough where somebody died and left you a stove. But whatever the reason, I'm going to show you today something you can do with these, and I think you're going to be pretty darn impressed with it. Now, first off, we have to dismantle the stove, so step number one, of course, is to loosen all the hardware. All right, now, she has failed to deconstitute into her primary components, so I think we're left with no other choice other than to take the torch to her. This should do it. You know, this could blow out the tubes of the camera when this baby lights up. You guys might want to just pan off to the side there, and I don't want to have any problem there. Yeah. Well, torch doesn't seem to be operational. I guess Harold was futzing around with the settings on it, so I gotta find some other way of taking the stove apart. Might as well just back the old-fashioned hands-on approach. All right, well, I got her all taken apart, took the top off, took the back off, and I think you're going to be surprised what we got here. I got a bungee cord wrapped around the door, and let me show you how this works. Down here, what used to be the oven drawer, this is now a magazine rack. So we get ourselves out a magazine, but not that magazine. That's Harold's magazine. Now he's growing up, isn't he? Come around the front. We pick up the control module. We're going to need that in a minute. Pull out the oven rack, which is now going to be a leg rest. There's a bit of a clue there. Okay, now we ease ourselves down. You're not going to believe this. All right, lean back. We now have a beautifully comfortable reclining chair. And as an added feature, I go down to the control panel, set her for bun warmer. And by golly, I'm here for the evening. So until next time, remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. We'll be right back after this commercial break with more about the He-Man contest story.
If you have children, get them out of the room now, just in case. I would.
This week in the Handyman Corner, we're doing another installment of our series on how to build fine furniture. You know, there is something darn wonderful about being able to take some strips of unblemished hardwood and make yourself a beautiful table, or even take some wrought iron and weld it into some lawn furniture, or grab a couple of milk crates and turn them into a handy-dandy little bookshelf. Suddenly you're part of a long tradition of fine craftsmen who've turned woodworking or what have you into an art. But you know, after your first project of this, you might want to try something a little more ambitious. I mean, a bookshelf is okay to look at, but next thing you know, you have to buy books, and that seems a little pretentious for a lodge member. So this week, I'm going to show you how you can do something just a tad more ambitious. We're going to take these milk crates here, and we're going to make a fold-away couch bed. All right, you build 2 units like this, 3 by 3 for your sides. Might want to put some padding on top of here as an armrest. And you got the storage bins in here, wine rack, beer rack, even a soft drink rack, you know, if you're one of those. And you put these things around 8 crates worth apart. Go get your top. It's basically the same technique, you know, with the duct tape and a lot more racking, shelving here. You know, the duct tape with that kind of a silver chrome look, you know, kind of looks like the metal furniture that's so popular with the Art Deco. And then you put that up on top. And there's your shape, you know, all your television remote controllers could fit into here. And there's our frame done. Starting to take shape, isn't it? Now we're ready to make the fold-away seat bed. Okay, now what I've done is I've made 2 units, 3x5 crates each, wrapped them all in duct tape. When you do this, though, don't skimp on the duct tape. Whenever I've done a project and used less than a dozen rolls of duct tape, I've never been real proud of the results. Anyway, you know, before you put this together, you got one of those kind of an exercise thing. You see the football players, you don't do that kind of stuff. I never wanted to play football. And now we just fold her up together. And there's our seat. So you just upholster this now to match your house, or if you don't have a house, get it to match your pants. And if you don't have pants, well, you have a more interesting life than I do. Milk builds strong bones and strong couches, doesn't it? And now, you know, of course, when somebody drops over, they got a place to sleep. You know, you just get up and you whip off the blanket here, and pull out the seat. I'm sure they'd help you. Pop her up. And with the beauty of our Himmelman hinge, tell them to stand well back and say, bedtime, bed. Hop into bed. And there you have it. Fantastic. So remember, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. I don't think your guests will be staying any more than one night either, so that's an added bonus. This week on Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you something you can do with an old fridge that's lost what it takes to keep your butter hard. You know, an old fridge like this, I'll tell you something, you'd have to pay a scrap dealer to haul this thing away. But we're going to turn it into something that no junk dealer would touch. A gentleman's armoire. All right, first thing we got to do is we got to disconnect the refrigeration unit here. Alrighty. Now we'll just pry all this stuff off the back. Now we have a little problem here. There's a gas in this, it's called Freon. Now this is a gas that has no smell. We don't see a lot of that up at the lodge. But the problem with it is that once this stuff cuts loose, it goes up, way up into the atmosphere and takes out the ozone layer or something like that. So we gotta be very careful and try and capture all the gas as soon as it escapes. So here's what we do. We just, first of all, break the seal. All right, now very quickly. You know, if everybody did that, the Earth would be a heck of a lot better place to live, I'll tell you that. Now we're just gonna gently remove the pump unit on the bottom there. Alrighty. My golly, she's really on there. So now we got her. And what do we have to do to turn it into a gentleman's armoire? Diddly squat. You got your ties in the door there. You got a shelf for your shirts, you got a shelf for your pants, you got a shelf for other things that you don't like to describe in public. You keep your underwear and the cheese, keep her over here. Keep your socks in the vegetable crisper. You might want to throw a box of baking soda in there. You got all your clothes handy and just right ready for you to use. And look what we got up here in the freezer. Your very own haberdashery. You know, Harold says teenagers like to wear cool clothes. Well, how much cooler can you be than have your clothes in the fridge? Personally, I'd rather give my clothes to Sally Ann and throw Harold in the fridge. Actually, I did want to show you something else you can do with a fridge. You can turn a fridge actually into a fishing boat. But we are a little short of time, so I'm just going to say, remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. If you want to do the fishing boat thing, you just knock off both doors, flip her over on its back, put a 20 horse on the back, throw your bait into the meat keeper, and you're gone. This week on Handyman Corner, we're going to show you what you can do with all that crap your wife makes you bring in every winter. You know, first of all, there's the picnic table. She doesn't want that in the backyard because she wants to get it out of the weather, and also it stops the snowmobilers from running into the clothesline. And then you have the lawn edging. She wants you to bring that in. You know, it goes between the garden and the lawn. She doesn't want you to run over that with a snowblower. Again. And now this I can understand. The croquet set, okay, fine. You don't want to be playing croquet when the balls are all frozen and split like cooked peas. On the other hand, the indoor-outdoor carpeting is a bit of a stretch, because to me, the word outdoor is right in the name, you know, along with odor, I guess, is part of outdoor, and shouldn't this be outdoors? But apparently not. And finally, my work socks, which have been out on the line since around Lent. But you know, rather than accept this as a storage problem, the true handyman accepts this as a challenge. And I happen to be packing my staple gun, and when I'm packing my staple gun, I'm ready for any challenge. Oh, sorry, Harold. All right, step one is to put everything off the table, except for the carpeting, and we're going to attach the carpeting, and then we're going to attach the lawn edging to the table using the staple gun, just like reupholstering a chair. Come see, come saw. So now all we do is put the croquet hoops in where the gaps are, and then cover them over with the work socks using the handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. So there you have it. Let the winter stay as long as it wants. I'll be inside here playing croquet pool. And you know, if you wanted to build some sort of a ball return system here, you could use the downspouts from your east troughing or even your toilet drain pipes. Okay, yellow ball in the side pocket. Oh, remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Nice break. This week on the Handyman Corner, I'm going to show you how you can turn an old piece of crap like this chair into a beautiful recliner rocker. You know, to me, anything that's called a lazy boy sounds like my kind of furniture. All right, first thing we have to do is to disconnect the back from the seat right down here. So we'll flop her down. I guess you could put this in a vise if you're a purist, you know. And we'll just hack this off. Sausage. Not very sharp. We used that one to cut concrete blocks when we made our wet bar. So I'll just switch to the jigsaw. Nothing to it. Oh, there's no blade in that. Oh, I remember now. We broke that blade when we made that architect's drafting table out of an oil tank. We got lots of power tools here, no problem. All right, now we got the back off the chair. Now, why'd I do that? Oh, yeah. We're making a recliner rocker, yeah. So we now are going to reattach the back to the seat with these hinges. And done. So what we have now is more of a collapser rocker. And what we need to do is to now install our footrest that's going to swing up. Now what you want here is a real nice piece of wood, something that matches the grain and the same kind of general quality as the rest of the chair. I couldn't find one, so I'm going to use this barbecue grill. I got some cup hooks mounted underneath the chair there, and it'll just hang on there. And you know, you might want to scrape some of the mung and fat and grizzle and feathers off this thing if you're going to sit in this chair in your good pants. Okay, now what we need to put on here is the supports for our armrests. These are, I got a couple of shelf brackets here. We got a shelf over in the workshop there, had 4 brackets on it. No shelf needs 4 brackets, so I took these 2 off. I figure they're not doing anything anyway. Well, I guess I might as well have taken all 4. Don't worry about it. Spilled paint dries fast. Okay, now I'm going to mount these supports on here using the Handyman's secret weapon, duct tape. All right. And now the next step, we add this ABS drain pipe on here. Kind of a mixed media project we got going with the plastic, the wood, and the metal, and what have you. And not to mention the tape. And these go on here not only serve as armrests, but also as guides for the mechanism that's going to raise and lower the foot pedal. And again, we'll use the Handyman's secret weapon to attach these duct tape. I'm not I'm not quite sure how much of a secret it is anymore. Oh well. Well, how's it look? I've run the sash cord up through my armrest, connected to my seat, lifting leg lifter, and then up into the eye bolts that I've hooked into the back of the chair. And it's a fantastic thing. When you lean back, up she comes, as we say. Just look at that. Now the easy part, upholstering her. I suppose you could attach this more permanent with staples, or maybe you want to duct tape that on there, or maybe put a screw into it or whatever. But I suggest paper clips. And that way you can, take her off every 2 or 3 years, give her a shake, get some of the mung out of it there. By golly, she's comfortable, isn't she? And just think of the money that you've saved, money that would have gone to a furniture company, huh? Just lean back. Look at that, huh? Right. Money that can now go to a chiropractor. So remember, women don't find you handsome. They should at least find you lying down. Well, Bernice got some new furniture, but instead of getting a full-size couch, she got this love seat. I'm not happy. Oh, sure, love seats are fine for ladies sitting there watching Oprah. But a man on a love seat, kind of like riding side saddle. I need my space. I need room to stretch out. So I need to find a way to have a love seat for Bernice that will also double as a full-size couch for me. And that's today's project, right here in Handyman Corner. Here's a small glimpse into the world of inspiration and how it can enter your life if you're one of the gifted. See how this works? This is an extension ladder. So I'm thinking, with this second unit right here, we can make an extension love seat. Okay, now the extension love seat works on exactly the same principle as the extension ladder, except with a lot less aluminum. Bottom line, one part's gotta fit inside the other. So what I'm gonna do is lop off the right side of Bernice's love seat here. Well, actually, it's my left, it's your right. It's stage left, camera, okay, this end right here. Okay, now, to make this work right, you gotta haul most of the stuffing out of the back and the seat of the main unit. Okay, really starting to take shape, isn't she? Now my smaller love seat can slide into and out of the existing unit. The big question is, how do we get it to slide? And the big answer, right over here. You know, you can get these carts at any grocery store. They only cost $0.25. I don't know how they can afford to stay in business. Okay, I got the grocery cart wheels mounted on the bottom of my second love seat, and I rolled her into place. I'll tell you, Bernice is going to flip out when she sees this baby. Because see, now it's a love seat where she can sit and do her needlepoint and tell me what a great guy her dad is. But then when it's my turn, I get to put my feet up and stretch out. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. Now, if you'll excuse me, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. This week in Handyman Corner, we're going to show you something you can do with some of those beer bottles you got lying around the garage or down the basement or whatever. I found these bottles in the cushions of the couch. Now, ordinarily, I would just throw these out or take them back for a refund, but I'm going to show you how you can make yourself a darned interesting clock. Now, the first thing you're going to need is something big and flat to hold all the mechanism for the clock. Excuse me a minute. I suggest a fridge door for the timeless look of white enamel. And you're also going to need an electric motor like this one to feed the bottles into the clock. And you're going to need a work glove. Just one. That's going to help feed the bottles as well. So you just need one, you can sell the other one to the neighbor's kid, and he can go out and be a rock star. Now, you got to soak this thing in a solution made up of mercury, lacquer, rubbing alcohol, gasoline, and paint stripper. Or as we call it, Possum Lake. There we go. Once she's dry, she's as hard as a brick. And then you stick the glove onto a 1x3 or a 2x2 or whatever size piece of wood you find when you're over at your neighbor's garage selling his kid the other glove. You know, that would make a dandy little handy little back scratcher. Or lower, you know. Or a panhandler could use this. It could work both sides of the mall at the same time. But we're going to use it to pick up the beer bottles and to roll them into the fridge door. So what we got to do now is connect this to our electric motor. Just stick it on there. You'll have a little hole in there, and you can just drop a nail through and then bend her over. Or I guess you could use a cotter pin if you're made of money. And now what you do is line her up. So it's going to go right into the fridge door, and I think we're looking pretty good. Why don't we put a beer bottle in the glove and give her a try. There we go. Now, as soon as I plug the motor in, that should just lay that bottle in there as nice as you please. Yeah, okay, that works. That works excellent. It's just maybe just a tad fast. So we'll slow the electric motor down, which is easy to do. You just open them up and you can just start cutting windings until your wrist gets tired. Or, yeah, why don't we just hook her up to one of these household dimmers? Perfect. All right, now you may have to jimmy around with the dimmer to get the motor down to exactly 1 revolution per minute, Greenwich time, AM. But once you do, by golly, you're all set up. And here's how she works. The glove now is going to pick up the beer bottle from the basin. That's our supply. And in exactly every minute, right on the button, she brings it over, drops the beer bottle right here onto our top shelf, which is our minute shelf. And that carries on until you get 9 bottles on there. On the 10th bottle, the weight all changes, and she swings down, and 9 of the bottles drop into the eaves trough and carry right on back into the basin for a supply again. But the 10th bottle goes into the 10 minutes area, so that's now 10 minutes, and then that kind of repeats itself, and now what happens is you build up until you have, I guess, 8 on the, no 9, not 10. 10 minutes on the 10, 10 on the 10 minute, and then into the hours and down and around, and just, it's like clockwork. And the beauty of this machine is that whenever you want to know what time it is, you just take a look over at your fridge beer bottle clock, and you add up the minutes. Well, you got 4 there, so that's 4 minutes. Plus, you add up the 10s. We got 3 10s, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. So you put them all together, and that means that it's exactly. Time for a beer. This week on Handyman Corner, we're going to talk about recycling. Now, we got an old car here that ordinarily would be ready for the dump, or as we call it at the lodge, the mall. But instead of just rolling this into a ravine or burying it somewhere or trying to sell it on that home ripoff channel, we're going to show you how you can do a little recycling and turn this old car into a whole house full of fine furniture. For example, there's a couple of good-looking seats in there. And now what we have is a real nice living room couch. And the back seat here becomes, of course, a matching love seat. Finally, a love seat with proof. And you know, there's other stuff that you can get out of a car. Like, I look over here and I say, well, my golly, there's a couple of nice lamps there. And how about this bumper? Wouldn't that make it just an excellent fireplace grill? You know, if you like Scandinavian furniture, you could do this with, say, a Volvo or a Saab. Or if you wanted lawn furniture, use a Lada. Well, is this cozy or what? I got the headlights hooked up here and got the jumper cables running across to the battery. And what you can do is hook up a high beam switch and fire on to high beams when you want to read the TV guide. And here's another bonus that you get. You hang this on your front door, and you got yourself a really unique, interesting doorbell. And you know, you're thinking, wouldn't a little music go good now? Well, how about the car radio? You're going to throw that thing out and come to a built-in stereo system with built-in speaker. Take a look at that. We get Moose Thompson to lie down and wedge his head between those and put on some clogging music. He practically kicks the walls down. That's a great setup. We got seating for everybody, and we got the great fireplace set up here with the bumper and so on. But to me now, it just screams for a coffee table. Something that you can put the TV converter on the odd time when you do actually set it down. So let's get ourselves a coffee table. Now, to me, the roof would make an ideal coffee table. So step one is to remove the roof. Actually, that's the only step. Now you can use a saw with that, or one of those electric knives, or what have you, or just wait till it rusts off. But I don't have that kind of time, so I like using the oxyacetylene cutting torch. And these, to me, I've been messing with these for years, and they're a very effective tool. But you got to protect your eyes, of course. I think I started using these when I was around 10, 11, 12, 13. I guess I was around 6 or 7 years old. That's not working too good, so I got a lighter here, and I'll just get that going. Boy, you can sure smell that acetylene. Where's the torch? Where is that torch? All right, that's got her. Oh, here she comes now. Free delivery. And I think you're gonna throw this stuff out, huh? So remember, until next time, if women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. This is great, isn't it? Once in a while, it's kind of good to get off the beaten path, get out in the woods, be by yourself, away from all the stupid questions like that guy at the Department of Highways yelling, "Hey, where do you think you're going with that fence?" So today on Handyman Corner, I'm going to turn this car into an off-road bush buggy. The first thing we got to do is take off these sissy street tires, replace them with these knobby bad boys. Now, for some people, putting tires on like that would be enough, but some people aren't me, which suits me fine and suits them even better. So instead, I'm going to now cut up a chain link fence and mount it on there like a big tank tread. I got these heavy-duty tin snips, cut through this stuff like butter. Frozen butter with a titanium coating. You know, we get the odd comment about the lack of safety on our show, so I thought I'd add a little safety feature right at this point as my way of pretending to care. Sometimes when you're bushwhacking, you'll get projectiles coming through the windshield, rocks, trees, wildlife, that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear this dog kennel as a safety cage while I'm driving. Won't be the first time I've been in the doghouse. Oh, no, I got an idea. All right. Now I'm just going to add a little technology to the unit. Something that will allow us to pinpoint our location. Be real helpful when we're calling for the rescue vehicles. I'm going to take this large fire hose reel, and I'm going to mount that on the roof of the car. I actually swiped this from the fire department, but I don't think they'll mind. It's rainy season. Plus, I left them the hose. I don't need the hose. Once I get this up there, I'm going to attach a whole bunch of garden hoses mounted end to end. All right, I probably got a couple of dozen garden hoses put on there. You could go with 300 or 400 if you wanted to. I just swiped these from the neighbors, but I don't think they'll mind because, like I say, it's rainy season. Just make sure you only use 50-footers, and you take a big marker like this, and you number every one of the connections. Then as you're driving, you just let her unwind, and you'll always know exactly where you are within 50 feet. I call it my GPS, Garden Positioning System. Now we're just about ready to go where no man has gone before, but let me show you something that's really going to clear a path for me. I've attached a chainsaw onto one side of the car, and then I took a bunch of chains, put them end to end, all the way through to that clothesline pulley on the other side. I don't think Bernice will mind that I stole her clothesline, because, like I say, well, you know. So remember, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy.